everyone, Rosie here. Welcome back to my channel. Shaking things up a bit with a short midweek video to bring you my TBR list for the History Challenge, which is a really exciting new readathon. At least it's really exciting to me. Maybe no one else is interested in this, but I saw this literally yesterday and immediately went, oh my god, this is so cool, I have to do this, and immediately started planning like what books I wanted to read. So the History Challenge is a readathon that focuses on non-fiction history books, and it's hosted by, I'm going to read from my phone because there's a lot of hosts, but it's hosted by Jenny from Bookish Shenanigans, Emma from A Cup of Books, Justin from Ghost Reader, and Justin from Triumphal Reads. So their channels will all be linked down below if you're interested in checking them out. Highly recommend. Yeah, it's a very straightforward readathon. The only prompt, or like the only thing to do to actually participate is to read at least one non-fiction history book between August 17th and August 30th. So that's the span of the readathon. But they also have a prompt like bingo board full of other ideas in case you want some guidance in what to do. So I'll read those out to you. So the 16 prompts are contemporary history, local history, historical fiction, a different country's history, your favorite time period, woman author, ancient history, macro or multidisciplinary history, host's favorite history book, memoir, biography or autobiography, history of a social issue, Black, Indigenous or person of color author, myth or folklore, a country on a different continent, microhistory, and revisit a school topic. And I will put the link to that bingo board down below as well in case you're interested in checking that out. So as with, I think, most readathons, it's totally encouraged to double up on prompts in order to read as many as you want without reading 16 books in 2 weeks, because I certainly don't have time for that, not while working. So I've chosen 5 books to read for my readathon that cross off, I think I've got 10 prompts. The first book I have that I want to read is Legacy, Trauma, Story, and Indigenous Healing by Suzanne Methot, which is about intergenerational trauma and the impact of colonialism on the mental and physical health of Indigenous peoples in North America. So where the history comes into this is, I think from reading the blurb, obviously I haven't read it yet, it sort of tracks throughout time how various colonial policies have impacted health and how those repercussions are still being felt today. So that's something that's super interesting to me. I'd actually picked it up a month or so ago and was meaning to read it this month anyways, so maybe cheating a little bit, but it sounds really interesting and really important. So I'm looking forward to reading that. And I'm considering that one as history of a social issue because the health crisis of Indigenous peoples in Canada is a big issue. Contemporary history because it involves things not only from far in the past but also that are still happening now and happened in the last 50 years. Suzanne Methot is Indigenous, so a Black, Indigenous, person of color author, and she's also woman author. So 4 prompts already. The second book I have is Gathered Together in My Name by Maya Angelou, which is the second book in her autobiography series. So the first one is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. I had read that literally a week or 2 before I started this channel, I think. It was really soon before it. I absolutely loved it. I was, again, hoping to read more of her work soon, and I think this fits. Gathered Together in My Name spans from what I've read, 1944 to 1948, when she was in her late teens / very early 20s, and is her autobiography from that period of her life. So for that one, I'm considering it, again, contemporary history, Black, Indigenous, or person of color author, woman author, and also autobiography because it's in the name. It's her autobiography. I'm super excited to read that, obviously. That's why these are on these lists. Why do I always say that? The third book on my list is a little outside of my usual comfort zone. It's called Build on River by Jean Van Loon, and it's a poetry collection that's a biography of a early local businessman from the Ottawa area. So from what I understand, it's the story of this man who arrived as a young man as a carpenter with his young family in I think the 1840s or 50s when Ottawa was really being built, and went on to become a prominent local member of the town business person type thing. But like, yeah, as I said, it's all poetry, so I'm really interested to read this. I picked it up again a couple months ago and just haven't gotten to it yet, so this seemed like the perfect time to read it. So I'm considering this one local history. I don't think it gets much more local than this. I don't think I can find a history book about, you know, something that happened on my block. And also biography, and it's another woman author. So that should be pretty cool. I've never read poetry that's history, I'm not sure how I'll get on with that, but I'll keep you posted. The fourth book is one that has been on my general TBR for 4 years or so now, and that is Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, which, like I said, I think I picked this up in like 2016 and just never got to it. Why? I don't know. For those of you who don't know, the Song of Achilles is sort of a retelling of the myth of the Trojan War that focuses on Achilles and his friend slash partner, whose name I'm forgetting. That guy. And from what I understand, it tracks them from their childhood to their experiences in the Trojan War. As always, super interested in that. I recently read Circe, also by Madeline Miller, and was just blown away by her writing and absolutely adored it, so I'm really excited to read this one. And it fits into the myth prompt, another continent, because if I'm remembering correctly, Troy is in modern day Turkey? I think I'm right. Please correct me down below if I'm wrong. But either way, it's not in North America for sure. So it's in either Europe or Asia, depending on where in Turkey it falls, I guess. This is too much of an explanation. It's another continent. It's historical fiction because obviously it's not like a full biography of these people. It's a story about them. And then also another woman author. And the last book I have on my list is Prairie Fires, The American Dreams of Laura Ingalls Wilder by Carolyn Fraser, which is a biography of Laura Ingalls Wilder, who wrote the famous Little House on the Prairie series. This book uses a whole bunch of letters and diaries and like land deed information, newspaper information, to build a more complete and adult story of her life than what we get in the children's books. So it looks at what was happening with her and her family and where they were and what was going on with them, and then it also places that in the broader economic, meteorological in a lot of cases, context. Fair disclosure, I started reading this already. I've been reading it for a couple weeks and I'm hoping to just finish it during the History-a-thon, but it fits so nicely. How could I not include it? So there's a lot of points where it brings in, oh, well, in this book she talks about this experience when she was 7, and okay, this is what was actually going on. Here's the whole, like, they were experiencing this little part of it, but then Carolyn Fraser, the author, talks about what was happening in the rest of the state or the country and how all of that was interplaying, and it's fascinating. It's really, really interesting to see the true adult take on this book. Future Rosie here. I forgot to tell you what prompts this fits into, but it's the biography, another country, and woman author prompts. Really looking forward to continuing that and finishing it up. So those are all the books I plan to read for the History Challenge. Maybe it's too manageable of a TBR. I know a lot of people's TBRs for readathons can get like super long, but I really like being able to finish things, and I'd so much rather add another book halfway through or add another book in the last 3 days than feel like, oh my god, I set myself this challenge and I didn't meet it. I think that's just a personal psychology thing. So I think this is a pretty manageable challenge for 2 weeks. Got one book that I'll be halfway through, 4 books to read. I think the poetry collection should be pretty quick. From what I remember from the first Maya Angelou book, that was pretty quick. Legacy should take a while. And hopefully Song of Achilles will be sort of mid-range, but I'll keep you posted on how it goes. I have a sort of different for me video style, which most video styles are different. I've only made like 5 videos or something. But I've got this idea for another video about this challenge that I'm really looking forward to, so if you've read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you're excited about hearing me read. If you're going to be doing this challenge, please also let me know if you have a TBR or a reading vlog or anything about it. I would love to see that, so make sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you would like to see more of my videos, including the secret yet to be disclosed future video about this readathon and my wrap up at the end of the month, which will include all of these books, please hit the subscribe button down below, and thank you for watching!